Is that you, Watson?
Yes, of course it is. And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded?
Watson, quiet, please. I'm trying to concentrate. Lestrade. What is it this time?
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only exercise I've had all week. A grateful client from Limoges sent me a vase collection this morning.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Giving you a blindfold.
Am I the only...
I suppose that Watson is right, Inspector.
Peter Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired, he invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years.
Has the investigation...
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious.
Give me half an hour to prepare.
Take your time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first.
What have they done this time?
They robbed a powder reserve.
I should have Mrs. Hudson here. I also have...
I shall go alone then. I cannot leave yet. I am not finished yet.
Mr. Holmes, I'm over here. Come on.
These footprints appear to be quite large. It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Inspector Lestrade.
As soon as... I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Madam.
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream. I thought nothing of it. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
Do you remember?
In the morning, at around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and... Oh, dear.
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. We lived quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
The garden is very large and well maintained.
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes. Life with Peter was never easy.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh, my goodness, but how do you know about that?
You undertook a pilgrimage to the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela when you were young. That much is evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth. I believe that you met Peter Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
Thank you, madam.
This is going to be quite graphic, so just a warning.
The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
Ah, good thinking.
Hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to
Let me see. These scratches are fresh. You're right. Someone tried to force open the door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Now, mysterious visit.
Well, he's not the man for the job.
Perhaps he did not have the... What a terrible way to die. This place is not covered with dust, like the rest of the shelf. An object was taken from here. It was larger than a book, a box or a small chest, perhaps. the tooth of a sperm whale, probably from one of Peter Carey's catches. Dundee. Hammerfest. It's a whaling map. The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain. The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain. Harpoons for hunting whales. Peter Carey's boots. They look to be a size 8. Old navigation instruments, nothing interesting. The Sea Unicorn. She was the ship that Peter Carey commanded. Someone drank from this glass recently. The initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work. This aroma is familiar, but to recognize it, I must construct my associations in one picture. Yes, this is a coarse tobacco, quite strong and very popular among sailors. Rum, a sailor's drink. It seemed that Captain Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death. The weapon fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense. J.H. The pattern of the blood stain indicates that the notebook was not lying on the floor prior to the crime, but it was dropped into the pool of blood after the death of Peter Carey. These abbreviations mean something, but what? This wooden handle is plain and solid. This blood is from the pool underneath the dead body. Peter Carey tried to defend himself with this knife, but he did not succeed. Peter Carey was impaled to the wall. Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain entry. This man is in his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong. Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise. It is possible that he knew his murderer.
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky.
And why is that?
Because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oof, you've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
Aha!
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we... This looks like the perfect hiding place.
There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Police! Hold it right there!
Mr. Holmes?
Mr. Holmes. All right, my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
Innocent? And what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here, waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't...
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but yes, it's just that I couldn't...
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard.
What? But you can't!
Enough! You can explain all of that to the judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But...
In light of recent events, it seems evident that...
You are welcome, Inspector, but please don't be too hard on our young fellow.
Good morning, Mr. Holmes.
Good morning, Constable.
Ah, the young man.
Thank you.
Mr. Holmes?
These are the suspect's belongings. From R. Dawson. To my friend and partner, 1883. Dawson. I've seen this name before. Perhaps my archive holds the answer. A handkerchief with the initials J.H.N. A pocket knife. It was used in the notebook that we found on Peter Carey's cabin floor. These abbreviations These are the suspect's belongings. Here it is. Now I begin to understand that young man's story, but I am still unclear as to what connects him with the murder. It is time to ask him. My archive. I can always consult with it if needed. My analysis table. It is useful for my work. Brave Toby, the best nose in the British Empire.
Good gracious, you caught someone. At least now you have a suspect.
A map of London and the surrounding area. It could be useful. I have heard the story of Dawson and Nelligan, the West Country bankers.
Yes, Joshua Nelligan was my father.
I am aware that it had a bad ending. When the bank failed, it ruined half the families of Cornwall, whereupon Joshua Nelligan disappeared.
My father was under extraordinary pressure. Dawson had retired. I was only 10 years of age at the time, but it was still old enough to feel the shame that befell our family. My father was convinced that he could pay off all his debts if the creditors gave him time. He set sail for Hammerfest in Norway in his small yacht, just a few days before an arrest warrant was issued. He left my mother a list of the securities he was taking. No word was ever heard from him again.
Thank you for the story. Does this...
Yes. But where...
What do these abbreviations mean?
Oh, no. I beg you, I can't. If I told you, it would only make...
But I will find out. The sea knife was found near Carrie's body. Tell me, Mr...
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
The police seized...
I didn't steal it from anyone. It has always belonged to me.
The ring's date of engraving is many years ago. You would have been a child then, hardly in any position to receive such an item from a partner. So, Mr. Nelligan...
The ring is mine.
No, Mr. Nelligan. I believe that the ring had belonged to your father.
Oh, but how do you know?
The jacket you are wearing is made of an expensive fabric that only a man of exceptional wealth could afford. You do not seem to me to be a rich man, Mr. Nelligan. Furthermore, the garment is ill-fitting. It is quite clear that it belonged to someone else, most probably your father. With your father gone and taking with him the family's wealth, as a little boy you had to find yourself a manual job, and it was most probably cleaning fish. You cut your hands often while working. I can tell from the scars.
I'm speechless, Mr. Holmes. It all happened exactly as you say.
Interesting. Joshua Nelligan and Peter Carey were both at sea in Norway. There is definitely some connection between Peter Carey and Joshua Nelligan's disappearance. I need to stage a reconstruction. I am sure that Watson would be happy to oblige. These boots don't match the footprints. (1880). This is the crew list of the Sea Unicorn. This is the crew list of the Sea Unicorn. Log notes for June. Nothing unusual. Log notes for July. Log notes for August. Canadian Pacific Railway, CPR. A torn piece from a bond. There are 3 ways of discovering what... Is this your husband's tobacco pouch?
I'm not sure. It might be, but he hadn't smoked in a very long time.
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his cabin.
Thank you, madam. These are the suspect's belongings. I wonder if these are connected. Now we have the proof that Nelligan's papers were indeed here. It seems that they have vanished, however. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, what exactly...
I was trying to find some information about my father.
I assume you had another purpose, to retrieve the bond certificates. Am I correct?
Yes. I discovered some time ago that a few of the missing securities had reappeared on the London market. You can imagine my amazement. I spent months trying to find them, and at last I discovered that the original seller had been Captain Peter Carey. These papers, they belong to my family, but I could not find them there.
Well, I will see you soon, young man.
Please, let me go! I'm innocent!
Something new, Watson. I have the list of sailors who were aboard the Sea Unicorn. We shall soon learn what happened to Nelligan's father. I have only to find them. Let us hope they're still working.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard...
I doubt it, Watson. And really, I would prefer that all of this remains quiet for now.
And who might they be?
The secret police division of...
Ah, you mean young Wig...
Yes. Believe me, you'll receive more useful assistance from these little urchins than from a dozen yard detectives. Those children are everywhere. They see and hear every...
How will you do that?
There is always a watch beneath our window.
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Wiggins, I need you to track down certain people for me.
Big Oliver from our gang. He can, because his father is the coachman of a
Fascinating. Here is the list of sailors.
Sailors? Easy. Just got to look where the rum and the red lights are.
Sorry to trouble you, Mr. Holmes, but the inspector asks that you come to the station as soon as possible.
Thank you. I'll be there shortly. A spot of whaling, Watson. Would you care to take part?
Are you sick?
No, but we do need to clarify what happened.
A reenactment, then? Is something...
The sailor's knife, Watson. Why was it...
Peter Carey attempted to defend himself?
It is possible. But if that is the case, then it alters many things.
I don't quite follow you.
Tell me, my friend, what is the animal closest to man, morphologically, I mean?
Ah, I see what you're getting at, Holmes. You asked me that once before. On the Ripper case, I believe. Do you want to slit some more pigs' throats?
No.
Thank goodness for that.
I wish to impale one with a harpoon.
Wonderful.
Watson, let us pay a visit to our butcher friend in Whitechapel.
And the harpoon?
One of the harpoons on the wall of... That should do it. Now I am ready for the
Well,
To indulge myself.
a little...
Stand aside, Watson. This might be dangerous.
Holmes, you should aim for the mark in order to perform the most reliable test. Holmes, you should try to aim better and throw as hard as you can. The harpoon has struck the body, but with insufficient strength to pierce it straight through.
This is the best possible result that I could get. Do you see, Watson? Throwing a harpoon and pinning a man to a wall requires either exceptional strength and training or diabolical luck.
If it was luck, then it was a chance in 1,000 that night.
Well, yes. Let us leave now.
All right. But before we go, I suppose I'll have to pay for all these carcasses you've happily mangled.
Very well, but please hurry.
Of course.
Mr. Holmes, I'm glad to see you.
As always, what happened?
We have a new suspect, Liam Hurtley. I'm thinking that this case will be resolved very quickly now.
Interesting. Pray tell.
Well, the constable that I left at Woodman's Lee...
Do you have him here?
Yes. He refuses to...
Let us hope so.
Ah, yes, and one more thing. The constable told me that at the time of his arrest, the fellow was... Of course. It's in the evidence room, at your disposal. Admit that for once, Mr. Holmes, Scotland Yard is a step ahead of you, eh?
Breathtaking.
These are the suspect's belongings. Liam Hurtley's old boots. They're a size 9.5. The stains are fresh. They can be removed with the proper chemicals. A pen. Nothing unusual about it.
I need to prepare a chemical agent. First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent. No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again. No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again. First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent. No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again. No, something isn't right. I need to start the reaction from the beginning again.
These boots match the...
Who could do such a thing? My poor husband.
Please escort...
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I would like to ask you a few questions.
I've already told the police that I've nothing to say. And you're not even part of the police.
Precisely, and considering your situation, it might be wise to speak with someone who is, shall we say, rather more neutral. You are a suspect in a murder case.
I know. Inspector Lestrade told me. It's ridiculous.
Could you at least tell me who you are, and exactly what happened that you should be brought here?
My name is Liam Hurtley, That I can tell you, but...
Well, we shall see. Tell me,
Woodman's Lee? I've never been there.
the second pair of boots.
Footprints? That's your proof.
Now that your presence at Woodman's Lee has been proven, would you care to explain it?
I don't remember. What would I be doing there anyway?
Because you are the gardener.
I'm not. How did you...
I observed your hands. They told me that you work with the earth. Small fragments of plants snagged to your trousers, but the most obvious clue presented itself in the bird embroidered on your handkerchief.
All right, you got me. Yes, I...
So tell me...
Hide? What are you talking about?
I did as you asked and hid them well. Should I continue?
My letter? But the ink? That's impossible.
A touch of chemistry, nothing special.
Well, you're a smart one, but it's nothing. If you want to...
I will check that. That's all for now. Hurtley's stories are false leads, but now I know one thing for certain. I must examine the site where the garden tools are kept at Woodman's Lee. Madam, we have information that the valuable stolen papers are hidden amongst the garden tools here at...
Oh my. Our tools are kept inside the shed that's right behind me. Here is the key to open it.
Thank you, madam. Let's see what could be hidden here. Let us see what is in this box. Bundle of letters in a woman's hand with the Carey family monogram. Hurtley and Mrs. Carey were in a relationship. That is interesting.
Does the name Liam...
No, I don't know anyone by that name.
Madam, I am aware of your affinity with Liam Hurtley.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Mrs. Carey, we found...
My letters. I asked Liam to
Why did Mr. Hurt...
I don't know. I wanted them back, but I couldn't see him, not after... What?
Well, here they are.
Oh, this is terrible. Terrible. Liam, how...
You believe that he killed your husband?
No, I do not know. I do not know. Leave me alone, please.
Thank you, madam. I wonder if Wiggins has managed to find any sailors.
Mr. Holmes, we found the sailors from that list.
Well done. This is interesting. Let us review the other sailors now. This man is a harpooner, and his initials are PC, the same initials that were found on the tobacco pouch. Wiggins, could you gather some information on one of the sailors that you found?
We found Patrick Cairns.
Good job, Wiggins. Where is he?
He lives in a small furnished dump of a room, but he's always at the Sea Witch pub.
Excellent.
Thank you, sir.
If I wish to speak to Cairns without alarming him, I had better dress as a sailor. Now I can approach Cairns and see if he recognizes the pouch. Now I can approach Cairns and see if he recognizes the pouch.
What should we do next, Holmes?
Brave Toby. The best nose in the British Empire. My archive. Hello there. Are you Cairns?
What do you want?
We've heard all about the gambling on arm wrestling here. You seem like...
I start at 10 shillings.
Suits me.
You were lucky.
I'm ready to try again.
Fine. If you want me to take all your money, no problem with that. Well, good for you, I reckon. You're
I'd like to buy you a drink.
good winner as well. You're a good type. Seems you've managed to settle down in life. You've got money, eh?
Not all that much.
Oh, well.
Why do you say poor? You're not working?
I'm a harpooner. But you see, the whalers are rare. They don't pay much. So, as a result, I find myself arm wrestling to pay for my drink.
A harpooner? Interesting. You've had a lot of it.
Of course. It's been a dozen years since I've sailed. I've seen everything. The old Wallace, damn Black Peter, Great Roger, who sailed to the Cape.
Black Peter, you say?
He was the worst of them all. He was a liar, and violent too. Swinging those fists of his around. He was a tyrant, and not much of a captain. At least, not...
I see. Yes.
But you ain't heard the worst.
Tell me, and let's have another drink.
It was in 1883 that it happened. The August. One evening, we saw a little craft that had been blown north. There was only one. The crew must have thought that she'd foundered, and they made for the Norwegian coast in the dinghy. I guess they all drowned.
And who was it?
I dunno. During the crossing, he and the skipper enjoyed some long talks. His baggage was just a tin box.
That's
Aye. Even stranger was that on the second night, he disappeared. No.
You know what happened, don't you?
I do. I saw the skipper tie his heels and push him over the rail in the middle of my watch on that dark night. 2 days before we sighted the Shetland lights.
Black Peter's a murderer.
Aye. Those that know him wouldn't be surprised to hear it. But all this...
Of course. Back in a second. I'm off to the Kazi.
I'll be here with my drink.
Here it is.
Have you got any tobacco? I've run out of mine.
Nah, I lost my pouch. I don't know where. Wait a minute. What's this?
Oh, is this your tobacco pouch?
Well, oh, it is.
Well, I have to go now. I know a captain who's planning an expedition to Cape Cod. Captain Ahab's his name. He commanded the Pequod. He might need...
Maybe, if you look.
I'm done here. It's time to leave.
Good afternoon. I must be at the wrong address.
No, my name is...
That detective fella?
That is correct. We need to talk.
About what?
About Black...
You know, don't you?
Yes.
How?
The tobacco pouch. You recognized it.
Oh, the sailor. It was you. Unbelievable. Well, fine. I confess. But if you really do know everything, you should also know that I didn't want to kill him. He made me do it.
I know. Did you know about this story with the bond?
Yeah. I just wanted him to cough up a little silver. I'm out of work, and I thought maybe he could help me. Well, he refused outright, and he insulted me. I reminded him I knew all about... Then he got mad when I spoke about his treasure. I barely just had time to throw the harpoon at him before he could jump at me with his knife. You know the
I ask that you return the bond certificates. Keep some of them. You will need them in your exile. It is better that you leave the country for a few years.
And you won't say any...
I will not say anything as...
Well, I'll do as you ask. But what about...
I will deal with him.
It's good that you asked me to come, Mr. Holmes. We do need to talk.
About what?
What do you mean? How...
His name is Wiggins.
Telling me that the case is solved. Well, miss...
The morgue.
Eh?
His name is, or rather was, Pablo Coventrao. He was also on the ship with Peter Carey, and he was a harpooner. I'll tell you everything, Inspector, but do come.
Orange cake? You're...
Ah, Mr. Holmes. Inspector Lestrade told me that I should thank you for clearing my name. He also said that you were waiting for me here.
I believe that this belongs to you.
My father's securities. Incredible.
It would take far too long to explain.
Tell me, this is...
Then that may serve as an explanation. Goodbye, Mr. Nelligan.
Goodbye, Mr. Holmes. And thank you. 1,000 times...
This trip to the countryside will be good for you, Holmes. As your friend and your doctor, I really do recommend that you give yourself a complete change of scene. Fresh air, brisk walks, bird watching, chopping wood.
Sounds intolerable. I mean, sir...
But you haven't yet...
He is a bee lover.
A bee lover? Do you mean that he keeps bees? That must be Mrs. Hudson, bringing the warm cloth.
There is someone to see...
I have no time. Send whoever it is away.
Yes, Holmes.
Mycroft.
Sherlock.
Oh, Mr. I documented our encounter in a short...
He does remember you, Watson. My brother remembers everything, and...
We are about to depart for the train station.
I know.
You know?
Sherlock, I need your help. There are people who presently...
Need help. Though...
I wrote you a letter, but you did not... People similar to those whom you pretend to defend.
Everything is about politics. You are defending your people.
That is the point. You think exactly...
Who are...
The merry men. He is talking...
Sherlock, do please think about it. They are planning something diabolical. Your country needs you.
You need me, Mycroft.
Mrs. Hudson, tea will not be necessary. Dr. Watson, The train conductor. You're in the 4th car. Sherlock.
Look after Mrs. Hudson for us, Toby. Look after Mrs. Hudson for us.